Queen may be concerned about antagonizing Prince Harry, who could fly off the handle if he is removed as a Counsellor of State, a royal expert has claimed. Historically, the Counsellors of State are the monarch's spouse, and the next 4 people in the line of succession who are over the age of 21 and living in the UK. These are the members of the royal institution who would step in for the Queen should she become incapacitated. Since Prince Andrew settled his civil case with his accuser Virginia Giuffre after vehemently denying the claims against him, there have been calls for the prince to lose his position as counsellor. And now, a parliamentary briefing paper has led to suggestions that Harry could also be removed due to the fact he is now living in LA with his wife Meghan Markle. However, speaking on the Palace Confidential podcast, the Mail's royal editor Rebecca English suggested that the Queen might be reluctant to request that her grandson be removed. People I know, who know about the royal household and the way it works, have wondered quite loudly whether it could be that the Queen just doesn't want to antagonize her grandson, she claimed. Harry does tend to fly off the handle at the smallest things, as we know he was very unhappy, for example, about a photograph that didn't feature him being included in the Queen's broadcast one year. So to be legally removed as a Counsellor of State might be seen as poking the bear. Reacting to the idea of the Duke of Sussex being stripped of his status as counsellor, royal biographer Robert Hardman noted that the public might find it strange if Harry were to be removed as a Counsellor of State but Prince Andrew remained. But, he stressed, you need Counsellors of State to be here to conduct business, so if he's in LA then he obviously can't do the job. The process of removing a Counsellor of State is one that requires parliamentary approval, and therefore Robert suggested that this isn't a matter for the Queen to deal with anyway. However, the Mail's diary editor Richard Eden reacted more aggressively. He said, "I'm getting a bit wound up by this talk of not poking the bear, who cares? This is ridiculous. Someone who lives in LA potentially, legally, could be called upon to carry out duties for the Queen. Both of them, Prince Andrew and Prince Harry, they should be stripped. They need to be stripped a bit so that people can see that Prince Andrew would never be stepping in for the Queen." According to royal commentator Richard Fitzwilliams, it's unlikely Harry will lose the title as only Parliament can remove it. Mr. Fitzwilliams said, "At present, there are 4 Counsellors of State. 2 or more would act in the event that the monarch is incapacitated." He continued, "It is Parliament who could alter this. There is obvious speculation about Prince Andrew's position after he has been forced to step down from royal duties in disgrace. There has been speculation about Prince Harry's status as he is currently resident in California. However, since 2 of the 4 are currently not undertaking royal duties, this is problematic." Mr. Fitzwilliams said the solution ideally would be for Parliament to change the rules to include the Princess Royal and the Earl of Wessex. However, he insisted this could risk provoking a strong response from the Sussexes. Mr. Fitzwilliams concluded to us, Parliament may conceivably remove Prince Andrew. If the Queen and Prince Charles, both who have tested positive for COVID, were unable to perform their duties, then the responsibility would lie with Prince William and Prince Harry. This situation, therefore, is likely to remain unsatisfactory as it appears unlikely that Parliament will act. On the other hand, Prince Harry previously shared what it's like to run into Her Majesty when you're a guest in her house, and his reaction is very surprising. In a clip from a 2018 documentary about the Queen's role as head of the Commonwealth, Harry joked about feeling a sense of panic whenever he bumped into his grandmother in the hallways of Buckingham Palace. In the HBO documentary, Queen of the World, Harry is shown addressing a group of hospitality professionals from the Caribbean who are staying at the palace. The prince offers the group some advice and went on to reveal that even he still panics when he sees the Queen, despite being related to her. He said, "You guys have spent way more time in Buckingham Palace than I ever have, and you've only been here 2 weeks. Have you bumped into the Queen yet? If you suddenly bump into her in the corridor, don't panic. I know you will. We all do." The pressure likely came from his thinking of the Queen as his boss, which he has also previously discussed. During the BBC's Elizabeth at 90 tribute documentary, which aired in 2016, he explained how it's difficult to just think of the monarch as his gran. He added, "I still view her more as the Queen than my grandmother.